All right, so in this video, I want to show you how in about 14, I think I have it down to 14 lines of Python, you can get a fully working Black Scholes pricing model and the computation of the Greeks. And we do this with the magic of automatic differentiation. So here's the Black Scholes pricing model, and I'll show you how to use automatic differentiation to get the Greeks in just a minute here if you stick around. So a bit of background. We don't care too much about the math here in this video. I can make a video on the math if anyone's interested, and I will link some in the description if you're into that sort of thing. But what you need to know is that the Black-Scholes equation here is a partial differential equation. And what does that mean? You have total derivatives and you have partial derivatives. Partial derivatives mean that I'm taking the change in this function c with respect to changes in this underlying variable t. And what makes it partial is that when you do this, you keep everything else, for example, this s variable, fixed. Okay? Anytime you have something that looks like this in an equation, it's a partial differential equation, PDE. And these are notoriously difficult to solve. This one cropped up in the 70s, and two of the people who solved it, you can imagine, are named Black and Scholes. Some other people were involved as well. Look into the history if you want. It's quite interesting. But what it tells you is it tells you over time what's the relationship between a derivative, such as a call option, and the price of the underlying S, such as a stock or something like that. That's really all you need to know. So they solve this subject to some approximations, and you get that the price of a call is given by this expression, this equation, and the price of a put is given by this equation. Okay? And there are some caveats. It works for European options. It works for constant volatility, normal returns. But basically, you can extend it to your heart's content. Now, what you do need to understand, you don't need to really care too much about the exact expression here. I have it implemented for you. But you do need to be familiar with the variables that go into the model. So S is the price of the underlying. So that could be if you have an option over a stock, it's just some equity. It could be an option over a futures contract or a commodity, whatever. S is the price of that underlying. K is the strike price. So if it's a $120 put, then its K is 120. T is the time to maturity. So if it's 6 months out, you will annualize this, and that would be 0.5. R is the risk-free rate. In other words, how much money can you get for, or what returns can you get on your cash while assuming no risk? And of course, that's an approximation, but usually this is pinned to, treasury bills from the US government or something. Q is the dividend yield, which does not apply to everything, of course. And sigma is the volatility. The volatility tells you how much is the fluctuating, or rather, how much is the price of this underlying fluctuating. A lot of fluctuation means high volatility. Little fluctuation means low volatility. So those are the 6 variables that go into options pricing using the Black-Scholes model. And if you're into options, you should know these by heart. Okay. So here's the expression, and I've implemented this for you right here. But before we get into this, we're using JAX. So many people are familiar with NumPy, I'm sure, but we are going to use JAX. What is JAX? It is a numerical library developed by, I believe, Google, if I'm not mistaken, and it is mainly used for automatic differentiation. I'll get into more of what that is in a second, but basically, sometimes you want to take derivatives of these expressions and see how much they change when, for example, the underlying price changes. So that's called the delta. Many people are familiar with delta hedging. The derivative of the price of the option with respect to the price in the underlying is the delta. And you can solve that quite easily for a function like this, but imagine you make this function even slightly more complex. Now the volatility depends on time or something like that. Immediately taking derivatives of these expressions becomes much, much more difficult. And so that's where automatic differentiation comes in. This grad function takes the derivative for you. Grad here stands for gradient, so you can use it on vector valued functions as well, or things where you would want to vector out. Now, more or less, you can do import jax.numpy as JNP, and then you can use JNP as if it is NumPy. So you can do JNP.array, JNP.dotProduct, all sorts of things are implemented. And it's pretty much a full replacement. Now this norm here is just anywhere you see a capital N in this function or in these functions, it stands for the cumulative distribution function. And I didn't want to implement that, so we're just using Jax's implementation. And then here I've just simply implemented, by implemented I mean literally convert these lines into math. So I compute the D1 and the D2 term, and then I just plug those into the call input price and then return those accordingly. So you can pause here and look through that if you want, but there's really not too much complexity there. So 9 lines, we get a nice little Black Scholes model. Now I'm going to show you that it actually works. So I've imported this package developed by someone else, and I'm going to show you that our model works just as theirs. So here is their model. We get the reference call price, we get the reference put price, and then we compute our call and our put price. And we do this for the underlying price of 100, strike price of 110, 0.8 years to maturity, 5% as the risk-free rate, 20% volatility. And we're saying it's a non-dividend paying stock, let's say. And I'll run this again just so you can see, but we get the exact same value out to numerical precision. So we know that we have a working Black Scholes pricing model. Now, why is that useful? It's useful because you could imagine if the Black Scholes pricing model tells you the value is $5 and it's trading for $2, you might want to go long on the option. Likewise, if the theoretical price is $2 and the actual value is $5, maybe you want to write the option. Of course, that's far too simplistic and there's much more that goes into it, but that's the idea of theoretical pricing models. You can get an idea for the fair value of the option. Now, that's great. We get the theoretical option price, but usually what we care about also is how much does this theoretical value change when I mess around with the variables in this equation. So again, let's pretend I have some call option and I want to know how much the option price will change when the underlying changes. Well, that's just simply partial derivative of C with respect to the partial of S. And that's called the delta. So if you've heard of delta hedging, that's all this term means. It's how much does the option price change when the underlying changes. You can also get a curvature of that price change, which is useful for, larger price changes, and that's called the gamma. So that's the second derivative of the call price or the put price with respect to the underlying, or you could write this as just the first derivative of delta with respect to S. You also have theta, which is the change in the option price over time, rho, which is the change in the option price when you change the risk-free rate, and vega, which is the change in the option price with respect to change in the volatility. And I will do a video on using this Autodiff library to compute the implied volatility, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. So let's actually do this. Again, you don't really want to compute these derivatives by hand. If you add complexity to these models, it will become much more difficult. So we use Autodiff. Now, how do we do this? What is Autodiff? Autodiff takes complex code, something like this. This isn't too complex, but you can imagine it's not so easy to compute the derivative, especially if you're new to calculus or don't know calculus at all. And what it does is it chains together all of these operations into what's called a computational graph. So it just breaks it down piece by piece. And what it does is it goes backwards through the computational graph, and it uses a tool from Calculus 1 called the chain rule to back out the full derivative using this computational graph. And that's kind of the magic. That's the magic of automatic differentiation. So I'm going to show you how to use it. So remember, this is our function. And the way that you actually do this is you will do, let's say, Jax delta. Let me turn off the LLM. Jax delta equals grad. So that's our Jax function that computes gradients, also known as just derivatives in this case. And all you need to do is pass in the base function, Black Scholes, and then you pass in the argument number that you want the derivative with respect to. So the delta is the derivative of the Black Scholes pricing model with respect to S. So in our case, that will simply be arg nums equals 0. Okay. And then I'll turn the LLM on so that it will help fill out the pricing here, or rather the typing here, I should say. And I'll explain it to you now. So remember, you can write the gamma as the derivative of the delta with respect to s. So that would be argnum 0, and we're taking the derivative of the delta, which we just computed in the previous line. You can do the derivative of the option price with respect to the volatility, known as the Vega. So we've done that here. Option is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or rather, the volatility is our fourth argument. The rho is our third argument here, the R. So remember, the rho is just dCdr. It's our third argument. And then, of course, we have the theta as well, and price is our second argument. And these are the Greeks that you usually care about. Okay, I'll turn off the LLM because it's being annoying. And I'll run this. Oh, let me comment this out. I just had this for readability so I could point out the argument numbers. So I'll run this. Great. And each one of these is now a function that you can call with the exact same call signature as the original function. So we can pass in sktr sigma q, and we'll get some values. And so that's what I do here. Basically, I compute our delta, our gamma, our theta, our vega, and our rho, and then I compare it again to that package developed by someone else just to show you that this automatic differentiation does work as intended. So you see we get our delta, reference delta. All of these numbers are exactly the same, to within, of course, numerical precision that we care about. So that was for the call option. I'll just show you that it also works for our put options. And you can see we get all of these values here to be exactly the same. So the next video will be showing you, well, I don't know if it'll be the next video, but I'll show you how to do an implied volatility computation. So working backwards from the option price to get the sigma. And that's pretty cool. You can use the Autodiff for that as well to use very efficient optimization techniques in order to get that. A little Easter egg is I would encourage some of you who are interested in the math here, think about why I put a negative in front of the theta. Comment down below if you have an idea for why I've done that. It has to do with conventions in the signing of these things. But that will do it for this video. I hope this is interesting. If people like the automatic differentiation, I could do more videos on this. It gets, the possibilities are endless with this, but that will wrap it up for me today. I hope some of you find this useful. Don't actually throw your calculus books in the trash. They're still very good, and you should hold on to those and always learn more math. But use Autodiff if you can. It's great for prototyping things. It's great for getting derivatives of complex functions that you can't take by hand. So I'll wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.